What happened? What about Hans?
He's taken care of for now, but he was on the edge there for a bit. And so were you, lad, so calm yourself. Last night you were 1 foot in the grave already. You were lucky you happened to turn up here.
Well, I have to talk to Hans.
You won't get much out of him now. He's lost a lot of blood and he has a fever.
What happened to him?
That cutthroat that followed you fellas cut him up bad. Hans was fighting him outside, then he came staggering in, said something about Fortuna and collapsed on the floor.
And what about that cutthroat?
You can go out and have a look at him. Hans gave him a right hammering. I didn't get a wink of sleep with that corpse in my yard.
I understand. I'm sorry we caused you such trouble. But you'll save Hans, won't you?
God willing. Well, I managed to pull you out of death's grip, so maybe I'll be blessed again. I'll go check on him as soon as I'm done with you. How are you feeling?
I've had worse. My shoulder stings a bit, but I'm all right otherwise.
You're brave. If you weren't, we wouldn't be speaking now. Ah, your shoulder is looking a lot better. I did my best, but I don't see good no more, especially at night. So I didn't do the best job. It just wouldn't stop bleeding. And now you've moved about, it started up again. Take this and bandage it up. Not much else we can do with it now.
Thanks. I reckon I can manage that. But I need to get a breath of fresh air to clear my head.
You slept through half of God's bright day, lad. So, if you feel up to it, go ahead. At least we'll see how steady you are on your feet. While you're at it, you can stop by the trough and wash all that nasty grime off of yourself. I found an old tunic. Put it on so you don't catch a chill. It gets cold here by the water. No doubt you'll be famished and need a bite to eat. There's some hot soup in the pot on the fire. If that ain't enough, I put some bread and cheese on the table outside for you. And you'll find some of our home-brewed liquor there, too, in case you need bucking up. Don't overdo it, though.
I won't. Thanks a lot. May God reward you 1,000-fold. What's your name, by the way?
Bushenna's my name.
And I'm Henry.
I know. Hans told me. I'll go and check on him. When you're done with everything, come and see me and we'll figure out what to do next.
Miraculously, you survived the terrible fall. But you lost several main level skill and perk points due to your extensive injuries. You have no choice but to recover and regain them gradually later in the game. Okay, so in order to heal you must apply bandages. I wonder if you can level up healing to a point where you can mummify yourself. The perk could be called Sacred Ritual or Scarab's Protection. Okay, let's see what's next.
Aye, true bliss is a full belly.
It would appear that you have to eat in this game. Oh, how very Minecraft of you, KCD. Okay, what's next? Do I set my spawn point in this bed? What's that? Splash water on yourself? Oh, I get it. So we're playing medieval Sims now, do we? I mean, it's all nice and dandy until you need to take a dump mid-combat. Well, it doesn't have to remain an inconvenience, it can be turned into a combat feature. I can already see the perk being called Shutapult. Throw your fists at the enemies. It could synergize with alchemy and make an area of effect damage over time, poison or even flaming projectile. I jest, but believe it or not, that really happened.
I feel like a new man.
During sieges, the invaders would catapult all sorts of nasty stuff over the walls, wait for the inhabitants to get sick and die or weaken, and then charge the castle. But enough talk about the catapults, let's deal with this problem right here. Very well, now let's take it far away from here. I can almost smell the stench through the screen.
I did what you asked.
And you didn't faint while doing it. I'm pleased, Henry. I had to pour a whole Lethean potion into you last night. That's what I call medicine. It can either put a dead man back on his feet, or make sure he never gets up again. So consider yourself lucky.
I will. But what about Capon?
Well, he's less lucky. That brute really knocked him about before Hans beat the life out of him.
Is there any way I can help? I owe it to Capon, and I want to do whatever I can.
You owe him, all right. I've got a bit of that Lethean potion left. It ought to work wonders on him, same as on you. But I can't just give it to him now. First, we have to deal with that fever. The best and fastest remedy for that is chamomile decoction. Luckily, it ain't too hard to brew, but we'll need some fresh sage for it. And, of course, chamomile. You ought to be able to manage that. You've got young legs and eyes, and I reckon a bit of a stroll would do you good.
Easy as pie. I can do that. Ma used to put sage in sauces and served it with meat. I'll check the kitchen.
Christ wounds! Try thinking with your head and not your stomach. We need freshly picked sage, not some dried herb, so listen up. Sage has a purple blossom, and chamomile has white petals with a yellow center. At the back of the hut, there's a footpath leading up to the rocks. You go along there till you reach a sort of small meadow. You ought to find both of them there.
Great. I'll be back in a jiffy with a couple of handfuls.
All right. I'll be glad if you get back here soon. I don't feel right being here with that corpse in my yard. Seeing him lying there gives me chills. I can't think straight.
I understand. It makes me anxious too. Maybe I could manage to bury him somewhere. Or at least hide him somewhere further off in the woods.
The Lord be praised. I'd be truly glad of that. Do you feel up to it, laddie? You ain't in the best of shape, and digging a grave's a tough job, even for a healthy fella.
Not to worry. I'll see what I can manage. It's on account of us that he's here anyway. I wouldn't want you to have any more trouble. And a bit of effort, even if it's a dirty job, is the least I owe you.
Well, if you think you can manage it, good, but don't overstrain yourself. And thanks.
Where should I put him?
Grab the spade by the dung pile and bury him by the creek. The soil will be softer there, so it should be easier. When you head out the gate, follow your nose. Find a good spot somewhere in the reeds and nettles. And when you're done with that, better have a wash, so's you don't have the stench of death on you.
True. I'll bear that in mind.
I'll sort out the rest with Ignatius, the gravedigger, when he comes by again, so's I don't have that wretch lying here till Judgment Day.
All right. I'll get to it.
His breathing's pretty weak.
It would seem that I was too eager to dispose of my burdens deep inside the forest. I'm glad there's an option to bury them. Can't wait for the future archaeologists to discover all of the bodies that I'm going to bury all over Bohemia. Come on, buddy, time for a relocation. You are way more friendlier, dude. Has anyone told you that before? Oh, what am I saying? Of course not. Well, just so you know, I prefer you that way.
Ah, shit! My shoulder. This bastard's hard work. I'll put him down somewhere for a while so I can start digging. Purple flower, sage, there we go. That's it, chamomile. Right, I've got all the herbs I need, so back to Bajena on the double. The sooner Hans gets that remedy, the better.
One more for good luck.
What's that dog making such a fuss about? Could something have happened at Bajena's? I should have some weapon at hand, in case there's any play.
I'm looking for those renegades who've been pillaging around the domain. They slaughtered some knight and his company yesterday down by the pond. 2 of them fled and they must be hiding here somewhere in the rocks. What do you know about it?
Who are you?
We're from Lord Von and we're looking for those murderers. Lord Von Bergov is reinforcing his garrison.
Lord von Bergov can go sod himself. And as
This'll
for
be
you
quick.
lot, you will soon feed the worms.
Get
I
ready
shall
to face
quench
your
the earth
maker.
cursed with your blood.
Go fuck yourself.
Oh, now you angered me. I shall chop you limb from limb and feed you to this dog right here. Why are you running? Come back here, you filthy coward. We'll see how fast you'll be running when I'll chop one of your legs and shove it up your arse.
Shit! I can't handle this.
Come back here, I'll handle you until there won't be anything left of
I
you.
can't just go wandering around. I have a duty to Sir Hans.
Oh, are you kidding me? Are we seriously going to let that filth wander off into the wilderness? Ah, why do you have to be such a lame guy, Henry? Oh, look at me, I have a duty to Sir Hans. I protect women, oh.
Hans, can you hear me, friend? Christ. In the end, you bore the brunt for both of us. May all the saints watch over you, and over Bajena, too.
Did they hurt you?
No, but I think they would have if you hadn't come along.
Who do you think they were?
I don't know how much you heard. They came here saying they was from Lord von Burgo, and they was looking for 2 bandits that ambushed some knight yesterday. But for sure they wasn't von Burgo's people. They didn't even have his Waffenrocks. But they sure sounded keen to find you fellas.
Maybe they were from that band that followed us yesterday.
Look here. I almost got slaughtered twice in one day on account of you 2. God be praised that my Pavlena wasn't here. Heaven knows what they'd have done to her. So, I'd like to know why all this is happening. Your friend was talking in a delirium in the night, saying you was knights. But if you 2 are knights, then I'm the Queen of Sheba.
Well, I must bow to your ladyship. Sir Hans is the young lord of Leiper and Perkstein. I'm Henry of Skalitz, son of Sir Radzig Kobyla, and I'm his bodyguard. We were heading to Trotsky to deliver a message from Sir Hanish of Leiper and Margrave Jobst to Lord von Bergov. But we were ambushed by bandits yesterday down by the pond. And you already know the rest. And as God is my witness, we're no bandits. I swear to you, I'm thankful to you for saving us. And I'm sorry it caused you trouble.
Well, you sound sincere, so I'll take your word for it. I hope I won't live to regret it.
You won't. I promise you.
Promises are made to be broken, but thank you for dealing with them. Except I have another corpse in my yard.
Don't worry. I reckon I've still got a bit of strength left. I ought to be able to manage it before evening.
I'd be eternally grateful to you. But be careful while you're at it. You don't want to open that wound or strain yourself.
What about Sir Hans? How's he doing?
He's holding up, I'd say. I treated his wounds and I'll change his bandages shortly. But what he needs most now is that remedy. Have you got everything for it?
Here. Chamomile and sage, like you said.
Excellent. Now to brew the potion from them. I gave you two the last of my supply during the night. But fresh is best anyways. It's a shame my daughter Pavlena ain't back yet. She'd get it done in a jiffy, but we'll just have to manage without her. But you can do it too. It ain't nothing hard. My eyes are so bad, it'd take me all day. But at least I can tell you how to go about it.
All right, I'll try. Well, I've been at the alchemist bench a few times, but it's been quite a while.
That's grand. More than I was hoping for. And not to worry, it'll all come back to you. I have a book here with the recipe, but it'll be better if I tell you. I know it by heart.
I can read as well as any man, if that's what you mean.
My word. Maybe you really are a noble son.
I'll take the book just in case, but if you give me some advice, I'd be grateful.
Of course. Everything we need is in the hut. Let's get to it.
I could go for something to eat now.
Hey Hans, do you want something? Oh yeah, you stay put. I'll go grab something to eat first, then I'll fix you up, right as rain. Hang in there, buddy. Oh yeah, this really hits the spot. You should try some, you know, when you come back to life. Yeah, here I come. Don't worry, he's not going anywhere. If I recall correctly, I have to eat the ingredients first to figure out their primary effects.
First, go to the recipe book.
Of course, it's all coming back to me
Now
now.
find the recipe for chamomile decoction, and remember what you have to do. Then get back to the bench and we'll start. Now try moving the cauldron over the flame, so you know how it looks when it starts boiling a bit. Hear that bubbling? It's boiling. Remember that well. For most potions, you just have to simmer the herbs for a bit. But sometimes you need to get it good and hot. So you have to get the fire blazing under the cauldron using the bellows. Try fanning it with the bellows to get it boiling. It's boiling! To keep it going, you mustn't stop with the bellows. If you want to cool it down quick, take it off the flames. Try it. Move the cauldron up. Good. Now we'll start with the brewing. Get all the herbs that you need ready. The ones you picked. Put them there on the shelf, so you've got them at hand. All right, let's get to it. First, throw 2 handfuls of chamomile into the cauldron.
This is quite similar to tea making. Are we making an infusion? I personally prefer some oolong, but I guess chamomile works too. However, I never tried to use wine instead of water.
Before you put it on the flame, turn the sand glass, so you know how long you're brewing it. It's got to be exact. Every grain of sand counts. See? When the sand has flowed out, that's 1 turn. That's how long you have to boil the chamomile. Move the cauldron to the fire and wait until it starts bubbling. Then turn the sand glass. As soon as the sand runs out, take the cauldron off the fire again. Ain't that enough? take the cauldron off the flames. All right. Now, take 1 handful of sage, grind it with a mortar and pestle, and drop it in the cauldron.
It's actually scary how easily this can be replicated in real life because it's so lifelike, unlike in Skyrim. This is similar to how I add matcha to my tea.
Have you ground it? Good. Now, drop it in the cauldron. You don't have to boil it anymore. All you have to do now is decant it. Get a phial and pour it in.
Yeah, let's just hope there's enough in here for me to share it with Hans too. I usually drink 12 cups of this stuff.
Done. Now, let's see what you've brewed.
I'm definitely going to max this skill out.
Here it is.
Oh, by the smell of it, it's a chamomile decoction the way it should be.
Happy to help.
This should help Hans get better. I'll take care of it now.
All right. Is there anything else I can do to help?
Well, if you feel up to it, I'd be right grateful to you if you was to rid me of that damn corpse what's lying there the whole time.
Sure. I'll do the best I can.
When you're done with that, go get some sleep. You won't miss anything, and you need the rest after everything that happened.